What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, we're going to be talking all about settlement. In this video, I want to lay out for you guys exactly why I still think there is a very good chance that this case does end via a settlement. I want to break down all the most important arguments around a settlement, why it helps both Ripple and the SEC, and give you guys all the information you need to make your own opinion. I also want to show you what some people are saying who don't think there will be a settlement. I think this will give you guys some good information on what the pros and what the cons are of this case ending via settlement. I also want to go over a potential huge win that XRP holders could have already gotten in this case. Now, this was actually being debated earlier today by Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton, so we're not positive if we have gotten it yet. But guys, I want to show you what could potentially be on the table, because this could be huge, and if Jeremy Hogan is right here, then XRP holders may already be out of this case. Guys, make sure to stick around for that. You are not going to want to miss it. Last of all, at the end of this video, we're going to talk about price action. I want to show you guys something that I think is really being slept on right now and is going to bode very well for XRP price action over the next couple days. Guys, make sure to stick around till the end of the video to see that. You are not going to want to miss it. Like always, guys, if you are new to this channel or come here all the time, please take a second to hit the like and subscribe button down below. It goes such a long way in helping this channel grow, and it really does mean so much to me. I'm also pretty sure YouTube's trying to shadow ban me, so make sure to turn bell notifications on so you guys don't miss out on any updates. If you guys ever looking for a good place to buy XRP, make sure to check out the link for Uphold down in the description of this video. Uphold is one of my favorite exchanges and a fantastic place to buy and sell XRP. With that said though, guys, let's jump right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the update. Real quick guys, MooMoo is a great place to buy and sell stocks. MooMoo is a regulated exchange with a great interface. MooMoo is also running a sick promotion right now that will let you guys win up to 15 free stocks. Most importantly though, each one of these stocks could be worth up to $2,000. So guys, need some more money to buy this dip? Go check out MooMoo now using the link in the description of this video and get your free stocks. But guys, I want to start this video off and talk about settlement because it has been hotly contested in the XRP community whether or not this case goes to summary judgment or ends via a settlement. Now, I have thought for a while now that this case does end via a settlement because it really helps out both parties. Ripple wants clarity ASAP, and all they want is to know that XRP is not a security in the United States. Also, the SEC is losing this case badly, and if they lose this case publicly via summary judgment, then it could potentially set them up to lose every crypto case in the future. I want to show you guys some other very critical points though that I think we need to be considering because it's just going to point us to even more reasons why it makes sense for this case to settle. So Jungle Link, another influencer that I highly suggest you guys follow, has been talking about settlement for a while also, and he always has some great points on why he thinks this case will settle. He says a fully transparent resolution by the court is really the best case scenario for crypto. Two things work against that. Ripple may end up paying more, the SEC doesn't like transparency, settlement mitigates both parties' risks. So I think Jungle Link makes a great point here and really hits on a huge reason why the SEC would want to settle this case. I think it's pretty obvious why Ripple would want to settle this case. Obviously, they want the clarity, and it's a lot easier for them if the SEC just comes out and says, look, XRP is not a security, rather than having to wait and rather than having to take the risk of the judge making that same conclusion. I do think the judge will ultimately make that conclusion, but if Ripple can get that in conclusion 8 months in advance, obviously they would want that. On the other hand, though, I think people have a much harder time seeing exactly why the SEC would want to settle this case. And I think this is a great reason that Jungle Link brings up here. If this case goes the distance, if this case does go to summary judgment, guys, this is going to create a whole bunch of transparency for every other cryptocurrency project. We know that the SEC hates transparency and they want to do everything they can in their power to put the brakes on the cryptocurrency industry. This case going to summary judgment not only would be a huge win for XRP and Ripple because they would win outright, it would also be a huge win for the entire cryptocurrency industry. If Ripple and XRP win via summary judgment, every other crypto project is going to have the playbook to beat the SEC. I don't think there is any way the SEC risks that. I don't think it makes any sense for them to. They can wrap up this case, take the loss they know they're going to get, and ultimately conceal it so no other project can use it against the SEC. I really do think that makes a ton of sense, and I just don't see what the SEC gets out of taking this case the distance. They have too much to lose and not enough to gain. If this case was going better for them, yes, obviously I could see why they would want to actually take this thing to distance and take their chances of winning. But guys, nothing indicates that the SEC has a chance of winning this case at summary judgment. I mean, for God's sake, they hired 5 experts to talk about how XRP is a security and couldn't use a single expert's opinion because they all concluded that XRP wasn't a security. I don't see why the SEC would go to summary judgment, but there's a few other reasons I want to show you. One was actually pointed out by attorney Fred earlier today, and he was actually talking about a settlement that just happened between Boeing and the SEC. And this actually happened just the other day, so I think it's super important that we pay attention to this because it's going to give us some good insight into what the SEC thinks when they're drafting a settlement. What attorney Fred pointed out here, and this is something I've always thought, is based on his understanding of the Boeing SEC settlement. He said it doesn't look like the SEC is looking to provide any rules or give any clarity to the market. All the SEC wanted to do was shake Boeing down, take their money, and move on. And this is something I have always expected out of the SEC. The SEC doesn't care about providing clarity. They don't want to give the market or tell the market what Ripple did wrong, or else the market won't do that and it will be less targets for the SEC to go after. The SEC wants to shake Ripple down as fast as possible, take their money, and move on. Now, I think a settlement for the SEC is actually the easiest way to do this. If the SEC risks taking this case to distance, they could ultimately lose outright and miss a massive payday for Ripple. I don't think the SEC's corruption would let them miss a payday. Guys, the SEC wants to get paid. They have been spending a ton of money on the Ripple SEC case, and they cannot afford to lose this thing without any money coming back to the agency. We know Ripple spent over $100,000 on this case. We can expect that the SEC probably has spent at least $20,000 on this case, if not more. The SEC is gonna want a return from this. They're gonna want guaranteed money, and the only way that happens is via settlement. I think this is another very important thing we need to consider. The SEC wants money, and that's likely the biggest thing they care about. They don't want to provide any clarity via summary judgment, they just want their payday, and the best way for that to happen is actually a settlement. Now, with all that said, I only think it's fair if I show you guys what John Deaton is saying about a settlement, because he has been a lot more skeptical on a settlement as of lately, and I want to show you what he has to say about the settlement. But to be fair, I do actually have a rebuttal to this, and I think it's really important to consider, so let me play you guys what John Deaton has to say, and then I'll give you my one response to what John Deaton says here, and I think it's important to consider. Listen up closely to what Deaton says here.
What's your feeling right now? Do you think we'll see the judgment versus a settlement, or where do you think that's going to go?
Right now, I lean toward that the case isn't going to settle. And I stand by, I think, what I said to you maybe a year ago, that until Gary Gensler is faced with a loss that will cause him more political damage, where he's going to be stopped from being able to go after other crypto companies, or if those Hinman emails are finally ordered and they waste their appeals and they exhaust their appeals, and it says December, and now the SEC must turn over all those documents that they're fighting so hard. And in those documents, it gives Ripple a guaranteed win. And at that point, Gensler would, why wouldn't you politically say, okay, I'm going to settle because there's too much risk, and I'll take that settlement and get some money, and I'll brag that I was, brought them, held them responsible.
So John Deaton's essentially saying that he doesn't think the SEC will settle until they're faced with a certain loss, and he thinks that will likely happen because of the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass emails. Now, my biggest issue with John Deaton's logic is not that he's wrong here, it's that why would Ripple settle this case if they knew the emails had something bad in them, if they knew the SEC was going to have to hand over these emails, and it was already December? Ripple would only have to wait like a month or two at that point for a summary judgment decision, so at that point, Ripple will just say, we're going the distance at this point. You lost, you're going to expose your agency, and we're going to save the entire cryptocurrency industry. It doesn't make any sense for Ripple to even want a settlement at this point. Right now, the SEC is still in the zone where they can offer a settlement, and it still helps Ripple a lot via time. Like I always say, time is the SEC's only weapon. So if the SEC knows eventually they'll have to hand over the Bill Hinman emails, it doesn't make sense for them to wait to settle the case. It would make more sense for them to do it now, because they could ultimately destroy the agency if they wait too long to offer this settlement. Say they wait until January or February and say, oh no, this is bad, we need to hand over these emails, Ripple might say, you know what, you took too long, we're not settling now. I have a feeling Ripple likely went to the SEC already and said, hey, offer us a settlement by this date or it's off the table, we're going the distance. I just don't believe that the SEC is going to get away with taking this all the way to December or January and then offering the settlement. I think if we're going to see a settlement, it's going to happen at the end of September. But guys, those are my thoughts. Definitely let me know what you think down in the comments below. And guys, because I talked about settlement a little longer than I was expecting, I'm going to wait until tomorrow to talk about the discussion between Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton because I think it deserves a little more time. I want to quickly talk about the XRP price chart because something crazy is happening right now. Right now, we see traditional markets falling apart. The stock market is in a nosedive. Stocks are going to the floor. Almost every other cryptocurrency is dropping big, and we see XRP ripping. Guys, XRP is at 51 cents right now, despite all the other things going on in the market. This is showing a ton of strength, and this is fantastic to see. I am so excited to see this, especially with the volume coming in. Guys, this is great and shows that there is something different going on with XRP. Whether or not this is a settlement or not, obviously we have no idea. But guys, something very unique is happening with XRP right now, and it has me very excited. I'm super happy to see that XRP is doing its own thing right now, completely independent from the rest of the market, and it's about the only cryptocurrency I see doing this. Now, I did say the other day that XRP was still within this massive symmetrical triangle on the logarithmic chart. I tried to show you guys this the other day, but unfortunately, I couldn't get the chart up on my computer. So take a look at this one. This is by Crypto Bull. This is the same chart I've actually been looking at. So guys, this is what I mean. We're still within this thing. Now, I do think we could get the momentum and just shoot right through this thing. If we don't, obviously, we still have a little more time to bounce around. But guys, just take this, what we're seeing right now. Just remember what we're seeing, because this is such a small scale pump for what we're going to see when XRP really rips. So if XRP comes back down, guys, that might be your last chance. So if XRP breaks out of here and it moons right now, great. But guys, if XRP does come back down, remember this feeling of you missing out on buying down here, because guys, I don't know how many more chances you're going to get. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.